What's going on, fellow Gundam reviewers? Another video today for you guys. We're going to review the GM Striker. Now, during the time in the 1 Year War, with the Federation starting the mass production of their own mobile suits finally with the GM styles, they made all kinds of GM mobile suits, like the regular GM, GM ground type, GM command, all sorts of GMs. But this one in particular wasn't very... It is a mass production unit, but they were not... how could I say? They were effective in close combat, but unfortunately, due to long range fighting, unfortunately, the GM Strikers are incapable of continuing with their operations. So the GM Strikers, I believe they were a limited mass production unit, since I would think it'd be more of costly too. They were, like I mentioned, they were mass production mobile suits, but unfortunately not a lot of them were able to perform as much as the other regular GMs. But the mobility of the GM Striker is higher than the other GMs that they made. So with the GMs, so for long range, they can't do anything about it. But in short range and mid range, they can actually do a lot of damage to any Zeons or any facilities or even bases. So when I was first building the GM Striker, he reminded me so much as the powered GM from Stardust Memory. I don't know why, but he kind of does. And he has a lot of yellow in him. Never seen that before for someone that has a lot of yellow. Well, it is a GM, so they have all kinds of stuff on them. So in this box, the GM comes with 3 beam sabers, so that you put 2 on his little javelin or beam scythe, I don't know. But you get a total of 3 beam sabers. But for weaponry, I'll show you the beam saber for a moment. So for weapons, he has by standard, I want to say 108 millimeter submachine gun, standard for ground type mobile suits. I don't think they were able to start producing the beam spray guns yet. I think during that time, after the Jabrow's its defense and its fight against Zeon, and that's when the mass production units of Federation started moving out. So near at the battle of when the Earth forces were taking back Earth from the Zeon occupations bases, then the beam rifles from the GMs have started to mass produce, so that the Zeon forces were not able to withstand against the Federation's weaponry for the beam rifles. Now, the shield is pretty unique. So it is by a GM ground type shield. Ground type GM shield, but it's a longer type of shield, and plus it has these 2 armor piercings which they can extend out. Well, not as far extends out, but extends out to I'm assuming aiming to the Zeon mobile suit's joints or the cockpit, but that these 2 extends out. Pretty much definitely bigger than the ground type mobile suits shields. When you guys do get this model, do careful. Make sure you put them in the right place, because I was folding them a different way to close the shield and put them, snap them together, and I dropped the shield. There we go. Now the beam saber is like I promised, so you get a total of 3 beam sabers. So you get 1 for his back, on his back, and then you get 2 for his little javelin or beam scythe if you want to. So you can actually direct the beam sabers to kind of like an axe or a scythe kind of way. Ooh, that was kind of close. Pretty much to go like that, strike someone, or just go straight and just pierce them in the heart like so. Okay. Really do like how the GM Striker has its weaponry. Unfortunately, after the 1 Year War, there was another GM Striker, but it was on Unicorn Gundam's episode. Unfortunately, it has been destroyed due to remnants of Zeon. And then after the 1 Year War, the Federation has stopped producing the GM Striker since there were no need during the after war, the 1 Year War. There were still some around in maintenance, either for using them as parts or using them for still operational in combat, like we seen in the episode. I think it was episode 3 or 4 on Gundam Unicorn, where you see the GM Striker trying to at least come out like a badass, and then he ends up getting stabbed by in the cockpit. But that is all the GM Striker type mobile suits that we ever seen so far. I don't know if there's actually going to be other ones coming to any of the newer Gundam shows. Speaking of new Gundam show, if you guys have not watched the Gundam Witch Mercury on a Crunchyroll, I recommend you guys to watch it. It is very, very unique, and it's a really good show at first. I'm hoping they get in more depth with not just the factions, but a lot more story on the Gundam and then the pilot as well. But before you watch episode 1, watch the prologue, because you see a little bit more action, but it's like heartwarming and sad at the same time. But it's a really good scene in the episode on there. So guys, another thing too, if you guys want to get this GM Striker, it is available on Gundam Planet. Get it as soon as you can before they run out. Before you go on Amazon or eBay, start paying like 20 or not 20, paying like over 30 or 40, or someone sells it for $50 or so. But other than that, I again recommend you guys getting it in your collection for the Universal Century. And if you guys have any questions, or if you have any information updates for me to know about the GM Strikers on its for his history, please let me know, and I will see you guys on the next review. Bye bye.